You open the app again. Your thumb swipes past a grown man posing with a fish like it's a trophy wife. A woman whose last profile update was clearly during the Snapchat dog filter epidemic. Someone frozen mid squat like a mannequin having a seizure. And a decapitated torso that might be hot but could also be your cousin. You're not sure if this is a dating app or a clearance bin for rejected OnlyFans auditions. Either way, you keep swiping. Not because you're hopeful, but because your brain is now hardwired to chase dopamine like a lab rat on coke. You're not dating. You're doom scrolling genitals. Pavlov's Tinder dog, baby. You match. Again. Big whoop. Matching in 2025 means nothing. You could match with someone from your dreams and still end up ghosted harder than a haunted house. That little dopamine hit fades faster than your will to reply. You say hi. They say hi. Now what? Oh, right. You either hit them with an opening line stolen from Reddit or drop a gif that screams, I have no personality, but I do know how to animate my silence. Everyone is emotionally unavailable, but weirdly available for nudes. People would rather send a close up of their left butt cheek than commit to plans next Thursday. Dating in 2025 is just choosing who disappoints you at a slightly slower pace than the others. You want connection. They want validation. You want love. They want to see if they still got it. And no one ever just talks anymore. No, it's an interrogation with vibes. You're asked about your job, your goals, your trauma, your attachment style, your star sign, your inner child, your outer child, your preferred pasta shape, and whether you believe in past lives. Because apparently, dating someone now means interviewing them for the position of lifelong unpaid therapist slash co parent to your plant collection. You go on a date in public with clothes and shoes, and whatever ounce of hope is still rattling around in your chest. You arrive early, like a dork, and they arrive late, like a red flag with legs. They're nice, which is suspicious. Too nice, which is code for they just got dumped and need an emotional temp. You laugh at their jokes. They pretend to care about your job. You both pretend you're not analyzing each other's teeth, shoes, and credit card placement. You wonder if they're looking at your eyebrows or trying to gauge if you'd survive a zombie apocalypse. And the conversation, it flows about as naturally as two AI trying to flirt. You say you love dogs. They say same. You say you like sushi. They say same. You say you have unresolved trust issues. They say same. Congratulations. You're both Tinder generated NPCs who have mistaken compatibility for trauma bonding. You eat. They make a comment about the price, and you offer to split. They let you. Chivalry is dead, buried, and now reincarnated as Venmo me half. You hug goodbye. Maybe kiss, maybe not. You both go home and immediately open the apps again. Because dating in 2025 is less about connection and more about always knowing there's another option, even if that option is just another guy with his hand on a tiger in Thailand. You text or you don't, or do and then get left on read for 5 days, only to get a message at midnight saying, Sup. Oh, so romantic. You're not a person, you're a vending machine. Press the right button, maybe get a snack. Press the wrong one, and it's back to scrolling through people who list travel as a personality trait. Eventually, you catch feelings, not because they're amazing, but because they text back consistently and remembered your dog's name. Standards are now so low, they're underground. You tell your friends, and now they look concerned but smile. You ignore that. You convince yourself that shared memes equal emotional intimacy. Then comes the shift. The vibe changes. The text gets slower. The jokes land flatter. Suddenly they're just busy, which is dating speak for looking elsewhere. You overthink everything. You reread your last message 30 times like it holds the secrets of the universe. Was the emoji too much? Was the punctuation passive aggressive? You spiral. You become an FBI agent, a therapist, and a psychic medium all in one. You analyze their story views, their playlist updates, and their sleep schedule, all while pretending to be chill. But you're not chill. You are the opposite of chill. You are microwave popcorn levels of emotionally volatile. Then the inevitable, the fade out, the ghosting, the slow deletion of your presence from their life, like you're an old app taking up too much storage. You don't get closure. You get silence. You don't even get a breakup anymore. You get archived. Like your feelings were just a chapter they skipped. And then You have to do it all again. The whole circus, the bios, the swiping, the forced banter, the pretending not to be weird when you know deep down you're one emotional outburst away from being featured on a true crime podcast. You begin to realize that dating isn't about love anymore. It's about survival, emotional hunger games. And if you do end up in a relationship, congrats. You made it to the final boss. Now you get to deal with relationship culture in 2025, where everyone's still low key on the apps just for fun, where jealousy isn't irrational, it's basic risk management, where every argument includes a screenshot and a vague Instagram quote, where you don't talk it out, you post a meme and hope they get the hint. Relationships now are less about building a life and more about creating content. If it doesn't make it to TikTok, did it even happen? Love languages have been replaced by shared playlists and matching B reels. And if you make it to a year, you're a miracle, a unicorn, a museum exhibit of emotional endurance. You realize you're not in love, you're trauma bonded. You survived 3 breakups, a situationship, a jealousy spiral over a comment from an ex, and a shared dog custody argument. Not out of romance, out of spite. Out of the fact that starting over sounds harder than just staying miserable but familiar. You forget what dating used to feel like. The butterflies, the anticipation, now it's just background noise. Another task, like flossing or deleting emails. You don't dress up for dates anymore. You show up in your depression hoodie and hope they don't notice your eyes twitch when they mention astrology. And therapy? Yeah, therapy is now the foreplay. You compare traumas like Pokemon cards. You bond over anxiety meds and you laugh about being broken. But deep down, you're hoping they don't notice the panic attacks come with a loyalty card. Buy 10, get one free. Eventually, you lower your standards. Not because you're desperate, but because you're exhausted. You don't want someone perfect. You want someone who replies in under 6 hours and doesn't believe the earth is flat. You settle for less not because you want to, but because more doesn't text back. You meet someone new. Again. You do the dance. Again. And it all feels the same. Like you've been here before, with a different name, different face, same outcome. The plot changes, but the ending doesn't. It's not even disappointment anymore. It's routine. You keep going because what else are you supposed to do? Knit? So you scroll. You swipe. You pretend to be impressed by someone's Spotify top 5. You fake excitement about their passion for crypto. And deep down, you hope that maybe, just maybe, this next one won't suck. That this time it'll be different. That this stranger on your screen is the exception, not the rule. But then they ask you what your rising sign is, and you remember. Dating in 2025 just sucks.